anti-drug paratroopers who deserted their Federal Special Air Mobile Force Group in the late 1990s. The Gulf Cartel Private Special Operations Unit raised the bar yet another notch, and the Sinaloa Cartel formed its own paramilitary unit called Los Negros to counter the strength of Los Zetas. With paramilitary forces comes military armament, and cartel enforcers graduated from using pistols and submachine guns to regularly employing full automatic assault rifles, rocket propelled grenades, and hand grenades. As we have previously noted, thugs with such weapons do pose a threat, but when those weapons are in the hands of highly trained gunmen with the ability to operate as an integrated unit, the threat is far greater. The life of a cartel enforcer can be brutish and short. In order to find additional personnel to beef up their ranks, the various cartel enforcer units formed outside alliances. Los Zetas worked with former Guatemalan Special Forces commandos called Caibiles and with the Mara Salvatrucha street gang, the MS-13. La Línea formed a close alliance with the American Barrio Azteca street gang and with Los Aztecas, the gang's Mexican branch. Cartels also recruit heavily, and it is now common to see them place help wanted signs in which they offer soldiers and police officers big money if they will quit their jobs and join a cartel enforcer unit. In times of intense combat, the warriors in a criminal organization can begin to eclipse the group's businessmen in terms of importance. And over the past decade, the enforcers within groups like the Gulf and Sinaloa cartels have become very powerful. In fact, groups like Los Zetas and Los Negros have become powerful enough to split from their parent organizations and, essentially, form their own independent drug trafficking operations. This intercartel struggle has proved quite deadly, as seen in the struggle between AFO factions in Tijuana over the past year and a more recent eruption of violence between the Gulf Cartel and Los Zetas in northeastern Mexico. This weakening of the traditional cartels was part of the Calderon administration's publicized plan to reduce the power of the drug traffickers and to deny any one organization or cartel the ability to become more powerful than the state. The plan appears to have worked to some extent, and the powerful Gulf and Sinaloa cartels have splintered, as has the AFO. The fruit of this policy, however, has been incredible spikes in violence and the proliferation of aggressive new drug trafficking organizations that have made it very difficult for any type of equilibrium to be reached. So the Mexican government's policies have also been a factor in destabilizing the balance. The current round of cartel fighting began when the balance of cartel power was thrown off by the death of Amado Garrido Fuentes in 1997, which resulted in the weakening of the once powerful Juarez cartel. Shortly after the head of the Sinaloa cartel, Joaquin Guzman Loera, aka El Chapo, escaped from prison in 2001. He began a push to move in on the weakened Juarez cartels. Guzman initially succeeded, and the Juarez cartel became a part of the Sinaloa Federation until the two cartels had a falling out in 2004. Then, when the chief enforcer of the AFO, Ramon Arellano Feliz, was killed in 2002, both the Sinaloa and the Gulf cartels attempted to wrest control of Tijuana from the AFO. Finally, when the Gulf cartel kingpin Osiel Cardenas Guillen was captured in March 2003, the Sinaloa cartel sent Los Negros to attempt to take control of the Gulf cartel's territory. This sparked a series of violent clashes in Nuevo León and Tamaulipas. The top enforcer of the Beltran Leyva organization, or the BLO, Edgar Valdez Villarreal, aka La Barbie, led Los Negros into Nuevo Laredo. These same basic turf wars are still active, meaning that there is still ongoing violence in Reynosa, Nuevo Laredo, Ciudad Juarez, and Tijuana. But as noted above, the actors are changing, with organizations like Los Zetas breaking out of the Gulf Cartel and the BLO parting ways with the Sinaloa Cartel. Indeed, the Gulf and Sinaloa cartels have joined forces with La Familia Michoacana, LFM, to form a new super cartel called the New Federation, and are now allies in the struggle against Los Zetas and the BLO, which have teamed up with the Juarez cartel to fight against the new federation. One constant in the violence of the past decade has been the aggressiveness of the Sinaloa cartel as it has sought to take territory from other cartels and organizations. In the midst of the current cartel landscape, which has radically shifted over the past year, it is difficult for any type of balance to be found. There are also very few levers with which the Calderon government can apply pressure to help force the shifting pieces into alignment. In the near term, perhaps the only hope for striking a balance and reducing the violence is that the new federation is strong enough to kill off organizations like Los Zetas, the BLO, and the Juarez cartel, and assert claim through sheer force. However, while the mass forces of the new federation initially made some significant headway against Los Zetas, the former special operations personnel appear to have rallied, and Los Zetas' tactical skills and arms make them unlikely to be defeated easily. There have been many rumors that the new federation, in its fight against Los Zetas, was being helped by the Mexican government. Some of those rumors have come from the new federation itself. During the new federation's offensive against Los Zetas, Federation enforcers have been seen driving around Reynosa and Nuevo Laredo in vehicles openly marked with signs indicating they belong to the new federation. While far from conclusive proof of government assistance, the well-marked vehicles certainly do seem to support the cartel's assertion that, at the very least, the government did not want to interfere with the Federation's operation to destroy Los Zetas. When pieced together with other observations gathered during the cartel wars, this also suggests that the Sinaloa cartel may have constantly benefited from the government's actions. These actions would include taking out the BLO leadership after the Beltran Leyva brothers turned against Sinaloa and the government's success against La Línea and Los Aztecas in Juarez. There are also occasional contraindications, such as the recent